Guten Tag. It's German for good day. Happy Monday. Thank you for being here. Just looking at the ridiculously beautiful blue sky. It's gorgeous. Of course it looks white in the phone camera. I don't know why. So I have a rune reading for you guys this morning. And I've also pulled out my Healing with the Fairy cards as well, because I love the lighthearted energy and I really just want to keep that going. Yes. Yeah. How are you guys feeling today? Now that Pluto has gone direct. I didn't sleep, but I actually had a really great night. Yeah. Yep. It was lovely. I went outside, the sky was clear, and I was looking at the moon and Mars, and a few hours later I came back out and I was looking at Venus and Sirius. I really love stargazing. It's one of my favorite things to do. All of a sudden it just got cold. It's supposed to be really beautiful today. Okay, so anyway, without any further ado, I'm a little bit nervous because I have been reading my own runes for a lot longer than a year now, every single day. And I love learning new things, but I hate being wrong. And I have recently dove deep into studying these again from more credible sources, which is great. So I'm updating my knowledge for sure. But yeah, some of the understandings that I've had about some of the runes have been not wrong or incorrect, just ill-informed, I guess you could say. Anyway, I'm excited for today's reading though, because I feel like it's very important, and I'm just gonna pause while the garbage truck comes around. So, and I need more coffee, so just give me a sec. All right, waited long enough. This cup's so cute. Look, those little blue jays. They're so pretty. We get blue jays around here. They don't quite look like this. They have more white on them, but they're so pretty, and their call is not pretty. Speaking of birds, the first rune that I pulled for the collective reading today is Caramel Ansus. It's a little bit of permanent marker I got on my finger. Ignore that. Ansus. This is one of the many runes that actually refers to Odin. Well, it's interpreted as Odin, but what it really is it indicates a common, ancestral, sovereign god or divinity. You see, we're not supposed to worship Odin. We're supposed to hold him as an example for how to embody or gain consciousness and synthesis between the right and left hemispheres of our brain. It's all about awakening. So anyway, birds. Ravens. Odin is the god of consciousness, of speech. Wednesday being Woden's day, also ruled by Mercury, supposedly. There's a connection here, Mercury and Odin. They're the same. Anyway. This indicates the skills of language. This indicates the use of the spoken word, to weave spells, to be persuasive. This being the very first rune, for me, really indicates that there are experiences today and wisdom can be found today from expected and unexpected sources, but especially the unexpected. Speaking of ancestors, I think that's why I opened with Guten Tag. You could say Guten Morgen. Anyway, this is all about inspiration and intellectual achievement. The second rune that I pulled is Redo. The chariot, or the wagon, or the journey. The long and arduous journey of awakening and of life on earth. Such fun. This rune, by the way, Redo, directly follows after Ansuz. Ansuz is number 4 and Redo is number 5. So Redo is the practice of what Ansuz has inspired. So we get an intellectual and inspirational boost today. Perhaps we get some counsel or some divine inspiration. You never know where it can come from. And Redo is putting it into practice. So this is also like it governs ordered deeds and the cosmic order of the universe. And you can see from my cyclical motions in my hands, it's a spiral. So when that spiral is lopsided, when there's something in the ordering that is off, or I mean, we're in Libra season right now, so this is actually a really great example. When something is out of balance, the force of Redo will put it back into balance to continue on the journey, the spiral, as you will. If things are out of balance, the force of Redo could lead to injustice, or the misuse of the force of Redo could lead to injustice. And righting that balance could very well come at there could be violence. Yeah. However, if we use this force correctly, we take action. We gain experience in the real world. There's a line here in my book I've been relearning from. This is actually a really excellent resource. This is Edward Thorson. This is Runes and Rune Magic, and honestly, the bibliography is great. It's like several pages long. Yeah, it covers pretty much everything. Not quite everything, but a lot. Anyway, so gain experience in the outside world. The Filja and Hamingja, or Hamingya, the Filgya and Hamingya must be strengthened. I've got to work on my pronunciation. So sorry about that. But anyway, these two words essentially fetch, or genius, or daemon, essentially mana. So your spiritual strength, your connection to your like guardian spirit must be strengthened. So you do that through the use of ritual. Some people have gotten to the point where they don't require doing ritual all the time. in order, because they have that connection already, that bond has been strengthened. So if you are on an awakening journey, especially if you were feeling very lonely, in like a dark night of the soul type situation, and I mean, we're being forced to distance and not gather right now, so there's a lot of loneliness happening. So the idea with these two runes back to back, definitely back to back, is to start to engage in sorry, I looked down and started reading again. Gotta finish my thought. Start to engage in different practices that connect you with your divine inner self, and perhaps your ancestors. That's been a big thing for me lately, is obviously is working to connect with my ancestor spirits and my ancestor guides. Yeah. That's so Swedish. Yeah. Oh yeah. I had this this great uncle. He lived to 93, and no matter what family event was going on, he wanted to be there in the living room right with the kids. And he always said, "Oh, it's the fellowship. It's the fellowship. It's all about the fellowship." And yeah, he was a sweet old man. He partied harder than most of my cousins. Most of them, not all of them. But responsibly. Ugh. Oh. Yeah. Coming into mid-October, into the end of October, Halloween time, the veil is thin, my friends. The veil is very thin. And you may very well be receiving different inspirations to do things that you're like, well, where's that coming from? Follow those inspirations. Follow those leads. Do it. If there's like a specific like time period in history, or something that really piques your interest that is connected to the past, go for it. Do those things. Start reading about it. But better yet, Rado is asking you to experience it. Go and experience it. Yeah. But yeah, this is all about like logic and because it's all about that like good ordering. It's about logic and justice, and making the use of good reason and counsel. And then the third rune is Uz. This is the ox, or the aurochs. It represents the horns of the bull, and they are pointed downwards in the Uz rune to indicate that we're bringing the power down to earth. So it represents both like a fertilizing rain and the slag that comes from impure metals, or just the impurities in metals when, you know, they're turned into swords or tools. My mind goes straight to swords because I like them, but anytime you're working with metal, really. I'm also a welder by trade, and yeah, slag has multiple purposes. I'm not going to get into the chemistry and science of it, but essentially slag forms over top of the weld while you're welding, and it protects the metal underneath from the impurities in the atmosphere, and also is formed from the impurities in the metal. So anyway, this is number 2. And essentially it is all about strength. It is about our vital inner strength. It is about taking those impurities out and getting rid of them. It is about applying and holding on to that inner strength of ours that that ferocity, the tenacity, that bullish nature, and using it to protect your homeland, your hall, whether that be your like physical home or whether it be yourself. Like, my body is my temple and I have boundaries. And speaking of boundaries, it's important to have personal boundaries. And if anyone is crossing your personal boundaries, it is a big indication that your personal boundaries need to be strengthened. This is definitely a topic for another video, but essentially, real quick while I shuffle the fairy cards, a lot of people think that a boundary is like, this is my wall and you are not allowed to pass it, and this is what I'm doing to control you. That's not a boundary, that's controlling other people. The real boundary would be, for example, this person is crossing my personal boundary and I don't like it. So instead of saying, you can't do this because this is my boundary, what you would do is say, or do, hey, I didn't like this. Please stop. And then if they don't stop, for example, that's when you remove yourself. Instead of forcing them to try and change, you step back, and that is how you enforce your boundary. So that's, wow, I just cut it to sexuality. It's nothing wrong at all with, you know, enjoying the pleasures of the body. But if you allow those forces to run rampant and do not bring them under control, urus, then they will consume you. And that right and ordered action of Rado, when it is blocked, like I was saying, when it is blocked and things are out of balance, it will right itself. It's just not pleasant at all. Please take it from me. Okay, fairies. Nah, that was extremely fast. I can't make this shit up. Raising your standards. Also, I realized with the last video that this is backwards. I don't know how to flip it around, but anyway, if you can't read backwards, it says raising your standards. You guys, y'all are queens and kings. No, screw that. You are empresses and emperors. Don't allow fuckboys into your energy, okay? Don't settle for less than your dreams. Once you make the commitment to manifest an improved situation, the universe will find a way to deliver it to you. Deep down, you know what type of life you're meant to live. And by the way, if you're really upset or depressed or lost in a feeling of just downness, the right word's not coming to me, but you get the idea. It's usually a pretty good indication that something about your living situation is not up to snuff, and you are not hopeless and you are not powerless. Okay, you have power, and I'm here to bring you hope. By drawing this card, you're being reminded that you deserve and can manifest any situation you wish. The fairies ask you to stop making negative affirmations based on scarcity thinking, such as, I can't afford this, or I could never accomplish that. Instead, they ask you to raise your standards to the level that all children of God deserve. Write down a list of your heart's true desires and review this list daily with a feeling of faith and gratitude, emotions that convert your wishes into reality, but also take action to change the situations in your life. As your dreams start to come true, be sure to graciously accept good into your life. Definitely, you have to actually accept the good and be grateful for the good that does come. Know that you deserve life's richest rewards. The affirmation for this card is, I deserve and expect the best in life. I hold high standards for myself. Not even high standards. My standards are... I want to rephrase that, 'cause it's not even like I hold high standards for myself. I feel like it's more like, well, for me anyway, more like my standards I have standards, and I deserve people in my life that meet and surpass those standards. Speaking of language, remember Ansu's being the very first rune that was pulled. This is all about a conscious use of our linguistic skills. So I would definitely say, if you're struggling right now, to really focus on affirmations and gratitudes. And it doesn't have to be anything big or fancy. Like, you could start really small. Like, I am grateful for my shawl and purple hoodies. I'm grateful for coffee. I'm grateful for YouTube. I'm grateful for the internet. I'm grateful for birdsong. I'm grateful for the sunshine. Get it? I'm grateful for hot water. I'm grateful for clean water. Clean drinking water, and that is freaking awesome. I'm grateful for modern plumbing. Pfft, amazing. I'm grateful for this beautiful cedar. You know? It's not that hard. I'm grateful for my pillow. I'm grateful for socks. I like socks. Yeah. You can be, actually, I would say that the sillier you are at first, the better. Because if you can get yourself laughing, that is like a surefire way to raise, raise your vibration, and B, move a lot of energy. So, okay, my friends, have a wonderful day. I am taking personal readings, so if you're interested, email me. My email is down below. And have a wonderful, wonderful Monday.